Episode 86. Finally, after that lengthy excursion, we can get back to the main quest. Just kidding. It's time for more crafting. Only a little bit. Only a little bit of crafting that I'm tacking onto the front of the episode. I know I said I didn't want to do that, but it just so happens that my recording schedule had just enough time to allow me to do daily quests to get the Ixal to the next rank up stage. And rather than continue the main quest and do that quest for the Ixal later, I would rather do that now since we're just coming off of it. This shouldn't be enough content to last the entire episode, so I just want to get it done now as a kind of cohesive extension of all of the previous episodes that were dedicated to crafting, rather than have this quest interrupt at several points throughout the main quest or whenever I'm doing anything else. The Ixal are going to have a total of 5 or 6, maybe 7 quests to rank up. So as long as I keep some of them within the same cluster of episodes sequentially, then I should be able to prevent them from interrupting the main story at an inopportune time. Oh there, Komoy. Construction of the airship proceeds apace. My Beastman colleagues have even agreed to implement several of my proposals. However inadvertent it was, I must thank you for introducing me to this opportunity. That I should have the chance to contribute to such a revolutionary project is exactly the sort of thing I dreamed of as I pored over countless tomes on aeronautic principle and design. There is, however, one small issue that has arisen to thwart us. In order to properly integrate my innovations, we require certain materials to build a custom engine jointing component, materials that are notoriously difficult to procure. I had hoped it would not come to this, but I must call upon the aid of an acquaintance of mine. Komoy, would you be so kind as to deliver this letter to a gentleman by the name of Coulson? I am certain that he will agree to prepare the materials and keep the entire matter discreet. Now, Coulson is often out and about on company business, but speak with Hida at the airship ticket counter in Gridania, and she will point you towards his latest appointment. My apologies, Komoy. I do not mean to treat you as a lackey, but I'd prefer to avoid the city for the time being. I almost wish I could see Coulson's face when he learns what I am building, not to mention with whom I am building it. How many quests are there to this quest line after this? I think I'm on like number 3 or 4. Oh, the ticket encounter is below. What do you mean I'm not allowed to jump over? There's floor underneath. How would they put a wall there? Welcome to the airship landing. I'm sorry, was there aught else I might help you with, miss? You wish to meet with Advisor Coulson? Delivering a letter from Tataramu, you say? Surely you don't mean Master Tataramu? You've seen him? Is he ill and unharmed? You must take yourself directly to Quiver's Hold. Chancellor Luke will wish to speak with you in person. You will find Advisor Coulson there as well. It's assisting with the investigation. Swiftly now, please, miss. The Archers Guild? Why them? I've done all of this questline before, but I only vaguely remember it. I don't recall the Archers Guild being involved. Of course, they're not just the Archers Guild, they're not just for training up archers or whatever. They're here for lore. They have their own, very own place in the lore, like with hunting down Odin and whatnot. Chance to loop. I'm sorry, miss, but I cannot assist you at this time. The God's Quiver is fully engaged with investigating a most important case. Every resource at our disposal has been allocated towards locating Chairman Tatabaru's missing son. Even now, the Chairman's chief aide, Advisor Coulson, awaits within Quiver's hold, no doubt eager to berate the first bow for our lack of progress. Coulson is the person you've come to see, and I must ask you to mind your words. I can't have you antagonizing the esteemed representative of Highwind Skyways. Highwind. Can't sit down and have a nice conversation. Gotta be standing. Yes, I'm Coulson. This is hardly the time for... A letter for me. Let's have it then, miss. Time is of the essence, you know, especially at my age. Great gods! This is signed by Master Tataramu. How came you by this document? Is the young master well? What's that you say? Ensconced in the company of Ixel? Then we've not a moment to lose. Should it cost me my very life, I shall see him freed from their ravenous clutches. We'll need to form a rescue party. Yes, the finest God's Quiver marksmen, reinforced by a small army of Skyway retainers. Be brave, Master Tataramu. Those beastmen will soon rue the day they dared lay talons on my young charge. Calm down, with 3 exclamation marks, and very calm. This no longer concerns you, young miss. You must immediately... Wait, what? You mean to say that Tataramu is safe? He's there of his own free will. Building an airship with the Ixel? Wait. Perhaps we must needs begin afresh. As you're obviously aware, my name is Coulson, and I'm the Chief Technical Advisor for Highwind Skyways, and aide to Chairman Tatabaru. Pleased to make your acquaintance. What you may not know, or not have known, is that the man who asked you to deliver this letter is the Chairman's only son, and the sole successor to a veritable airship empire. Some few days ago, Master Tataramu accompanied here to Codania as part of his continuing education on company practices. Much to my surprise and alarm, however, the young master suddenly disappeared from under my very nose. Well, I was naturally beset by all manner of horrible imaginings. With no ransom demand or other clue to his whereabouts, I had no choice but to task the God's Quiver with turning the entire city upside down. Suffice it to say, your news has lifted a terrible weight from my old shoulders. I know not how I would have faced the boy's father had events unfolded otherwise. And yet, the contents of this letter still managed to vex me. Dear Coulson, enclosed is a list of materials I would have you prepare for my companion. I require them for a most exciting project. Fond regards, Tataramu. Not one word of apology or even the slightest hint of contrition. My lectures on the privilege and responsibility of position appear to have fallen on deaf ears. And as for this list, I'm assuming these are materials for some manner of high-quality jointing component. Treated rubber gaskets to prevent cerulean leakage, yes? I'm sorely tempted to refuse this impertinent request, considering the trouble the young master has caused. But I am also intrigued. Here, take this promissory note, and hand it to the supervisor of the Fallgourd Float crafting facility. She will provide you with everything you require to craft Tataramu's component. Though I yet harbor some concerns, I will trust that Master Tataramu is content to work alongside these Ixal for now. Master Tataramu is as a grandson to me. I have watched that boy nurture a love for airships since the day he was born. Pray see to it that no harm befalls him. How long has it been since he disappeared? I guess for Komor it's only been a few days since she started working with the Ixal, but I don't know how long Tataramu's been gone. And I only say Komori's been working a few days because that's how many days it's been for me since I started. Hello again, adventurer. I can hardly hear you. I said hello again. Oh my, this note has the seal of Highwind Skyways, though I suppose it only stands to reason. There are a few other organizations that could afford the items you're requesting. Here you are then. Everything is in order for you to begin crafting. Ah. Always forget. Make it good, Komori, won't you? I've also been getting decent levels as an alchemist through these quests. Not sure what level I was last in the previous episode, but probably gained maybe 3 or 4, maybe even more, just through daily quests. Why do we need to build this when chocobos can fly perfectly fine? The answer is that this quest was designed before chocobos or any other mount could fly. Maybe they didn't even think flying would be in the game at this point. Komori, you were gone so long. I was beginning to worry. Were you able to deliver my letter to Coulson? Yes, this is exactly what I had in mind. Jointing components like this one are almost impossible to obtain without the clout of a company like Highwind Skyways behind you. But with your expertly crafted component now in hand, we should have no trouble integrating my improved engine housing into the Desul Qulan. I can already feel a bracing chill of the wind on my face. Hear the cries of the birds. See the folk below rushing about like tiny... Excuse my little flights of fancy. Terrible habit of mine. So, Komori, I suppose you heard from old Coulson who I really am then? Yes, 'tis true. My father is the chairman of Highwind Skyways, the expansive airship service that links the great cities of Eorzea. Destined as I am to one day take the company's helm, people everywhere will seek to curry my favor as they would some merchant prince. A pity, then, that my royal status does not excuse me from an unrelenting procession of dreary lessons at home. I am forced to study mercantile practices, business strategies, all that I might maximize the profits of airship travel. But I have not the slightest interest in making coin. I have had enough of ledgers and lectures. Thus was I so reluctant to leave this little sanctuary. I want to design airships, not manage a fleet of them. I want to be valued for my station or my purpose. I want to be valued not for my station or my purse, but for the skills I have labored to acquire. Mayhaps you hear naught but the whining of a spoiled child. Yet I swear to you, I would renounce my inheritance in a twinkling if I could. Well, you have a worthy inheritor standing right before you, just to your left, at the same eye level as you, with the same color hair. It's Komori. Give Komori your money. Oh, for the wings of a wondrous airship to carry me further, faster and higher than ever before. That is my dream. That and nothing else. Squawk. Well said that was. And mean nothing to us, Tataramu's wealth does. Better off smelting down coins and making nails, Cecil thinks. Thank you, Sizzle. Squawk, squawk. Seize this passion, and let it sustain you, you must. Construction of Desel Quilon will take all that Taturamu has and more. Chosen an easy path Taturamu has not. No, not easy. But always fair master crafting is. Great reward for great effort. Launch our vessel upon ocean of clouds we shall. Launch it towards gates of Ayatlan. Ready to fly is Taturamu, yes? Yes. Yes, sir. Alright. Not even a third of the episode in, and we managed to complete the little bit I want to tack on to the front. It's looking good. Thanks to your diligent efforts, the engine housing has now been integrated into the Desel Quilon's tail assembly. Continue assisting me, Akalo 9, to see the airship hybrid reach completion. And I suppose we unlocked more quests. What do we need here? Horn glue, level 30. Hopefully it's easy to craft. I'm not going to be crafting it right now, but just for future reference in between episodes. Outgoat horn. I think that's just something you get from killing outgoats or something, so probably pretty easy to find on the market board, maybe. Anyway. We'll continue on the actual quest now. I've got a few more quests to do now that I completed the rank up and have some more reputation quests to actually undertake, but we'll save that for later. I don't need to capture that on recording more than once. Although I've already done it, I guess, in 1 or 2 recordings. This episode is supposed to be about the main quest. Let's forget all about that. Let's say Komori was in the middle of her crafting spree when she got a link pearl call from NVIDIA about a new job. I think that's where we left off, right? She said she'd call us with a new job. I don't actually know what's going to happen. Right. Where we last left off with Minfilia, I guess she received some news about the students of Baldessian. About their entire island being missing after we defeated... Was it Leviathan? Was Leviathan the last time we did the main quest? I think so. Our friends, the very isle itself, everyone and everything. No, it avails us not to speculate. Uriyandra will send word if there are any developments. Until such a time as he does, we must remain firmly focused on that which is within our power to change. With that in mind, I would speak of a different matter, one closer to home. It concerns etheric fluctuations, which we had previously attributed to good King Mughal XII. That the king is no more is a blessing for which we have you to thank. It all is not well in the 12's wood. Our latest readings reveal an ongoing etheric disturbance of considerable magnitude. They may even suggest the presence of a primal. Needless to say, the mere possibility warrants immediate investigation, and I would have you... Vasilia, I do not wish to interrupt, but we have a problem. What manner of problem? A band of refugees, hailing from Moldar this time, have come to Revenant's Toll seeking asylum. It would seem they expect us to afford them the same treatment we gave the Domans. At present they are in 7th heaven, awaiting a formal response. I see. Mayhap as was to be expected. I shall meet with them at once. Cecilia, you know full well we haven't the resources to accommodate many more people. Consider what will happen if you do this. Word will spread and more will follow. Your opinion is duly noted, but I will hear their suit. Komori, I should be grateful for your presence at this meeting. What, does she need some muscle to help repel off these guys? That's what Komori thinks. I am well aware that our resources are finite, but we have a responsibility to protect the people of Eorzea. Anyone move? No, same positions, all of them. It'll happen. NPCs will move around at the middle of a patch quest or something like that, and that's when you know to talk to them. Draggle-tailed? I haven't heard the word draggle before. I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Minfilia, and I lead the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Jove be praised, it is you. We're ready and willing to work, same as the Domans. Just give us a task and we'll see it done. Pray, calm yourselves. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I know not of your situation. I beg your pardon, antecedent. I ain't so good with words. We've been living off the scraps of Ul'dah for years now, trying to piece together a life to replace the one what got took. They say there's work, but there's not for an honest man. Not as wouldn't sully his soul, sooner than his palms, any road. The flames do what they can for us, of course, but it ain't near enough. And it's only getting worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bastards in the city didn't help us up. They climbed up on our backs. I don't pretend to be clever, but even I can see what's coming. I knew we had to run. The only question was where. And then it came to me. Revenant's toll. I mean, you took them foreigners in, didn't you? So you'd surely do the same for us. I fear the situation is rather more complicated. While it is true that we accepted the Domin's petition for aid, that decision was the product of extraordinary circumstances. I sympathize deeply with your plight, but pray understand that it is not possible for an organization of our means to aid all who have been affected by the calamity. And so it is with great regret that I must deny your request. But we've got nowhere else to go. You're turning your back on us. If I might have a word. Tataru, is aught amiss? Ill tidings from Ul'dah, my lady. Alphinote has been wounded. What? How? Is it serious? I cannot say for certain, but I fear it might be. According to the flames, the refugees started a riot. They went wild, apparently, lashing out at any and everyone. That can't be right. Why would they? They must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. Seven hells. All the blades have an excuse. They'll round us up and kill anyone who tries to resist. Antecedent, please. If you won't help us build a new life, at least help us keep the ones we've got. My lady, we are not ones to stand idly by and watch innocents suffer. However, until we know more of the circumstances surrounding this riot, I'm not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. If the authorities determine that the refugees attacked without provocation, then those responsible will have to answer for their actions. How can you be so blind? Find Alphinote quickly. If he is in danger or worse, I would have you and none other by his side. Thank you. Pray do not concern yourself with the matter we were discussing earlier. Ada and Papalimo will see to it. Have we noticed being treated at the Hourglass? Hurry, Komori. Are you? Don't believe what they say. I know these people. They would take up arms to defend themselves. If there was a riot, I swear to you, they didn't start it. Looks fine to me.
Come, you must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well. Ul'dah, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident. There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over. Ul'dah is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life. To an Ul'dan, money is the foremost, and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence. So where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the Calamity? Plainly, there is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Ul'dan way of thinking, they may as well not exist. Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Rauban and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more and more Ul'dans to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers. While more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry. The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Dolmens asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. And you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions. It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest, nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence. That the Immortal Flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grand Companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
Like that cutscene. Kind of made a good use of space inside the bar here representing the wealthy, and outside that place we know, Pearl Lane, where a bunch of not well-to-do people and refugees kind of hang out. The closing of the door was a nice touch. As I told you before, it was all but inevitable that an incident of this kind would eventually occur, given the rising tensions within the Sultanate. Nevertheless, I have reason to believe that this particular riot may not have begun spontaneously, Have I piqued your curiosity? Good. Then you will accompany me to the Hall of Flames. I would hear what General Reborn has to say upon the matter. Now is not a good time, Komoi. My hands are full dealing with the refugees. And precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General. Elfino, back on your feet already. You may credit my swift recovery to your Kyrogens. Still don't know how to pronounce that. I think it's something like surgeons, where the U-R-G-E-O-N-S is the same as in surgeons, but not sure how to pronounce the Kai part. Maybe it's Shy Rugens, or maybe it's just Shurgens. Shurgens. I'm just gonna say Kai Rugens though, even if it's wrong, because I think that's colloquially the wrong way that people say it. My memories of the riot are still somewhat muddled. I trust you managed to regain control of the situation. Not entirely. We secured the city soon enough, but not before the unrest had spread to the surrounding territories. Pockets of resistance remain throughout Danalan. We have sent what forces we can to root out the last of the belligerents. The progress is slow. They are damnably elusive. I can well imagine. Given that the majority of refugees live outside the walls, it stands to reason that they would know the lay of the land. What I do not understand is how they came to be so well prepared. Before my little accident, I observed that several of the refugees were armed, and not with butcher's knives or pitchforks, but with martial weaponry. I need hardly add that such equipment is costly. None can deny that tensions between Uldan citizenry and the refugee population have increased since the domans were turned away. But would that motivate a starving man to purchase arms in lieu of food? I think not. And what of those who have not even a single gil to spend? Who could not survive without the aid provided by the immortal flames? Surely they would sooner sell a weapon than bring it to bear against their benefactors. Come to the point. Very well. My point in general is that this powder keg of discontent was not set alight by chance. These events were deliberately set in motion, and now order must be restored. That is my first duty. Until it is done, any investigation can wait. I do not have time to discuss this. My scouts will be returning anon. The general is no fool. He keeps his own counsel, and with good cause. Were he to claim, without the necessary proof, that these riots were instigated by outside forces, the monitorists would accuse him of attempting to shirk responsibility. After all, he and the Sultana have been the most outspoken proponents of refugee aid. Regardless, they will face harsh criticism in the days ahead. Our allies may stumble upon the truth in time, but I have far more faith in your abilities, Komoi. Therefore, I propose we conduct our own investigation, independent of the authorities. To that end, I would have you make inquiries in the settlements suspected of harboring belligerents. Commander Swift will know where they are, and know which they are. He may balk at a request for such information, but I have no doubt that you can persuade him with your silver tongue. I, meanwhile, shall seek answers in my own way, after which we can regroup and share our findings. Well then, shall we? Show him that silver tongue of yours, Komoi. You look as though you have something to say, Komoi, do you? What you ask is no simple favor. Were such information to fall into the wrong hands, the lives of countless soldiers would be at risk. Even so, there is wisdom in your words. An able individual may be better suited to this task than a regiment. Very well. The Brass Blades have reported suspicious activity in the vicinity of Lost Hope. It may be unrelated to recent events, but we doubt it. I suggest you begin by speaking to the Blades posted there. All the way? No. That's a side quest. Lost Hope. Ah. That location right next to the Somnus Den. We went there as part of the early Ul'dah specific starting town questline. Or at least we went outside of it. And what brings you here, adventurer? A search for refugees? Well then you've come to the right place. Ah, you mean those refugees? Oh no, you won't find them here. Most of the people of Lost Hope have come to accept their situation, and are content to pass their days in peace and quiet. Outsiders have trouble understanding that. Like that merchant who passed through recently, gregarious fellow but awfully opinionated. I can't say I was sad to see him go. I didn't expect them to send you, Komoi. I take it this means someone has read my report. Oh wow, he recognizes us. This would be the captain of that old contingent of Brass Blades, now headed by, what's his name again? Fufu something or other, the Lalafell fellow, over in Horizon. We interacted with him, this guy, as part of our starting town questline for Ul'dah, but we wouldn't have interacted with him if we did any of the other two towns for the starting questline. So they changed that line specifically for him recognizing you here. Little touch. It's nice. The refugees who left with the merchant have yet to return, and I'm increasingly concerned that Lazawaka's suspicions were correct. You haven't the foggiest what I'm talking about, do you? Never mind. Speak with Zazawaka. He will explain everything. Didn't realize the main quest actually took you inside this Somnus cave. I went here with my main character for sure, but I definitely don't remember walking in here. Maybe I walked this far as my main character, but never quite went this far to understand it was a place for creating Somnus. Oh, don't hurt me, I'm not one of them. I beg your pardon? You are not a flame, I see. If Theofric bid you speak with me, then I take it you've agreed to help. Don't be praised for that, because we haven't a moment to waste. Everyone knows the flames are on the march. The others have fallen under that fanatic spell, but not I. Promises of revolution and retribution, of holding the ruling class to account and taking that which is owed. Huh, a childish fantasy. I did everything I could to dissuade the others from leaving, but few would heed my words. Now that one of our idealists has returned, however, the madness of the merchant's plan is plain for all to see. Look behind yonder tent and you'll understand why. Even now, he babbles incoherently. So traumatized is he, by the bloodshed he witnessed. Try as I might, I can make little sense of his words beyond the fact that he was not alone in surviving. Yet I've no doubt that that merchant will lead the remainder to their doom. I beg of you, find them before he does. Behind the tent. No, I did see this guy. Just thought he was a normal NPC. What are you doing? Don't draw. Don't draw. Why didn't you run away with me? We could have escaped together, then you'd be here. With me. Be here to soothe me. Why? Why did you have to stay and leave me alone? You mean like this? Is this what you mean? Who are you? What do you want? Oh, it's true. I followed the merchant, and may the gods strike me down for my folly. What they will not give, you must take, he said. When we asked how, he revealed a cache of weapons he had brought and implored us to seize control of our fates. I thought of running then and there, but the others were so excited. He split us into 2 groups, sent us off on our own. But when the flames found us, we didn't know what to do. Our leader tried to parley with theirs, but then they started arguing, and then fighting, and everyone was fighting, and the flames were shouting to give no quarter, and oh gods, the other group. They're still out there. If we don't stop them, they'll be massacred like mine was. Focus, man. What group? The other refugees are hiding in the caves, thus have lost hope. But to approach them would be fruitless. They would sooner call us agents of the Sultanate, and try to kill us than listen to reason. Why, the twins might even deign to do the deed themselves. A pox on all bloody sellswords. They were supposed to train us to fight, but the ones he sent with us vanished during the struggle. Oh, if only we had never listened to that merchant's ridiculous claims. He said our cause was righteous, that the gods would never suffer us to be defeated. Though, if they were forced to confront reality, that's it. Challenge the twins to combat and show my brethren that their strongest warriors are no match for one woman. Mayhap then they will agree to lay down their arms and renounce this plot. Beat up some people? Sure, Gilmore can do that. The best way to stop a bully is to become a bully yourself. Of course, that's what the refugees are trying to do. Bully their own bulliers. But here we are bullying them in return. Where does the cycle of bullying begin and end? Who knows? The Guardians, probably. No, wait, the Guardians were bullied by... Well, this isn't really a spoiler, but we'll get into that later. It doesn't matter. Right now, we're here to bully this guy. 7 Hills, they found us. Everyone grab your gear, and make for the rendezvous point. So that's your game, is it? Sorry to disappoint you, lass, but we're more than willing to kill you ourselves. Not if Pee-Pee has anything to say about it. Pee-Pee, kill. Pee-Pee doesn't actually attack, only the Eggies attack. Excuse me. Stop that. I'll whack you with my book. The spine in particular is pretty hard. Oh, you got friends, do you? Oops, wrong one. Got any more funds? You beat him like it was nothing. God almighty, what are we gonna do now? We yield, alright? We yield. That's what you wanted, ain't it? So go away and leave us be. Now I assume, even though this has happened earlier, like very early in the game with some initial quests, I assume that we didn't actually kill those guys. There were a bunch of humans that we killed that were maybe bandits or something in some of the quests that were maybe like level 5 or level 10. But I'm pretty sure we didn't just kill some refugees. You've returned. Did you find my brethren? What of the twins? What happened? I see. Well, you had no choice. Better that a handful of them take a beating from you, than the lot get butchered by the flames. Tell me, what did the merchant have to say when it was over? Huh? But where else would he be? Unless he went to Stone's Throw to recruit others? Focus, man. Who's this guy? What merchant? The merchant wished to approach the refugees in Stone's Throw, but was waiting until the flames withdrew their forces from the vicinity. Now that they have, there's nothing to stop him from continuing his work. How many more must perish in pursuit of this futile cause? How much more suffering must we endure before it ends? Find him. Convince him to cease his mad quest. It will surely lead us to ruin. And off he goes. Stone's Throw. Ah, right. The little encampment that was just outside the walls of Ul'dah. I think we've been there once. Maybe. Let's actually take a moment to inspect the area, because I don't think I really did that much. This is as much part of Ul'dah as the actual interior of Ul'dah is. There are NPCs out here and little pieces that indicate people live here. The tents and activity, people talking to each other, wandering about. You get used to seeing the inside of Ul'dah and seeing all the NPCs as you go back and forth between quests and whatnot, but you don't really come out here that much. I believe we came here for a very early Ul'dah questline quest or something. I think it was something related to Thancred. Maybe. Or maybe we saw a flashback with Thancred in this area. I guess over there is also part of Stone's Throw. I remember. I think our first kill was this marmot. Not this exact marmot, but this marmot that spawns in this location. One of these marmots. Killed him with a book we did. Just like that. Like this. It's very hard. This spine. Lethal. We don't need those. The sad thing about this is, well, not really a spoiler, but this area doesn't really change no matter how far in the questline you get. No matter what world events happen, there will always be these tents sitting outside Ul'dah because that's simply how the nature of the online game world works for Final Fantasy. Some other MMOs may have some sweeping world changes, but in order for any player to experience the story from beginning to end, excluding 1.0, they must needs keep all of these intact, and therefore keep the reason for them being here alive, which is to say, there must be refugees to inhabit these tents. Have you seen my parents? They told me to stay here with the others. They said they'd be back soon, but it's been days. They left with the man from Ul'dah. The man said they were going to change everything, make it so we could live inside the walls with everyone else. I liked it when he said that. I didn't like it when he talked about making the rich people pay. Everyone looked so angry and I got scared. Say, miss, are you looking for someone? Looking for a bad guy. You mean the man who left with my parents? But I don't know where he... Wait, look. Over there. I think that's him. Oh, now, which of these gullible fools shall be my next victim? You. He's getting away. Go get him, miss. Let's see him run away from a flying chocobo. You again? Why are you pursuing me? Sedition, treason, revolution? That's preposterous. Who has filled your head with these lies? Refugees? Self-same refugees who terrorize the streets of Ul'dah? Huh. You have no evidence to prove your accusations. None. No, I will not accompany you to the Hall of Flames. You have no right to detain me. Komori doesn't need the right. For the sake of argument, let us say I did do things you claim. The things you claim. Surely, you don't think I give a Kikurin's ass about politics. It was business. Only business. No one around to watch Komori beat him up. Nowhere to run. We both know that I'm not the one you want. However, if you agree to protect me, I swear I shall tell you everything. What's all this commotion? 7 hells. Tell the others to spread out and search the area. The killer may still be close. Hold, adventurer. I would know more about your relationship with the victim, as well as the events leading up to his death. This man was responsible for the recent riots. Mayhap we owe his murderer a debt of gratitude. In any case, it's obvious you are not the one whom we seek. You may carry on with your investigation, Scion. How do you know it wasn't Komori that drew the arrow into the man's chest? You didn't see it happen. Of course, it wouldn't make sense to use an arrow, a bow and arrow, from such a short range. Oh, I thought this entrance was the one closer to the Hall of Flame. Is this faster? At this point, maybe I should have just ran the other direction. Is there even a faster teleportation to the Hall of Flames? I don't think so. There is this, though. I call it Reborn's shortcut, because Reborn normally stands right here, so I assume he's coming in from this shortcut. Same thing we do. What news, Komori? Where's the merchant? Murdered? Damn it all to the seventh hell. He was not simply murdered, Komori, he was silenced. Too many knew his face, and he was ready to divulge his secrets. Do not despair, though. We may be closer to identifying the true orchestrator of these riots than you realize. Revolution? That sounds pretty tough. Pretty rough. Looks like there's gonna be a cutscene even. Okay. The Flame General left word that you were to proceed to the Fragrant Chamber as soon as you return. He wishes to discuss your recent discoveries, as well as the results of our own investigation. Master Alphinaud has already been informed and should be waiting for you outside. Pray proceed to the Royal Promenade with all haste, and speak with Bartholomew. What quest is Wymond? Ah, right, of course. I recognized Wymond as the guy that led us into town with our first quest, but was wondering what blue quest he would have. I've inspected that in a previous episode, but I always forget. He's the guy that leads into all of that. Have I ever admired this thing in the center? It looks nice. Water flowing down from some kind of pillar or something. Don't really see waterfalls like this hanging from a stalactite or whatever. Nice interior decoration. How do I actually go up though? Where are the stairs? Guess we gotta go down to go up. I could have teleported in, but guess I just naturally walked in. When walking on the rug, there's a noticeable, kind of pleasant rumble to the controller. It's different from when you walk on stone and such. It kind of has that muted feeling of walking on rug, replicated within your very hands. It's interesting. In fact, the rug is so nice, I think Komori's going to sit on it for a little while and admire the feeling, before she goes talking to Alphinaud. This rug is a nice place to take a break.